Hi, I'm Dr. Stephanie Sarkis, a psychotherapist and author. I'm also a contributor for Attitude, which is a resource for adults and children with ADHD. This video is about overcoming shyness when you have ADHD, and this video is for AttitudeMag.com, and my website is stephaniesarkis.com. So here's a question submitted by a viewer. I'm an adult with ADHD and I'm not good at keeping up relationships. I don't like using a phone and I often back out of social outings. I'm shy and I don't know what to talk about. How can I make and keep friends? Well, you're not alone. A lot of people with ADHD do have some shyness, or sometimes it gets to the point where they avoid social contact altogether, and that sometimes is called social phobia or social anxiety. I think that sometimes people's personalities naturally, they tend to relax by being by themselves. Some people tend to relax by being with other people. So sometimes you just may naturally be an introvert rather than an extrovert. And sometimes people with ADHD, they start out pretty gregarious and pretty social, and then find out that they're making social faux pas, like interrupting people. You say things that maybe were kind of not pertaining to the conversation, or you may say something that's a little intrusive. And so what happens is over time you overcompensate for that because you're so cautious of making a social mistake that you start monitoring what you're saying and doing, and you start to avoid social situations. And also, people with ADHD don't tend to be really good with small talk. You just want to get to the meat of the conversation. You find that kind of superficial. But that's just kind of how people communicate. So one of the things I recommend is doing a role play with a family member or a trusted friend, and go through a conversation on when you just meet somebody, or how do you introduce yourself to someone, or how do you strike up a conversation with small talk, and get that feedback from that other person about how you did. And you want some gentle, kind feedback, but feedback nonetheless, because it's important to know how you're coming across, and some things maybe you could improve on. And also you want the person to tell you what you were doing correctly too. So again, I think role plays can be a big help. Also, finding a group where you have something in common with other people, it's much easier to strike up conversations, to make friends that way. CHAD, which is a national organization for children and adults with ADHD, they have support groups, and so you can look up on their website, chad.org. You can look up the support groups in your community and see if you can meet others with ADHD. Also, there are websites like Meetup.com, and you can meet people that have the same interests as you. For instance, let's say you have a dog, and all the people in the group go to a restaurant outside that they can bring their dog. So you meet other people that way too. And I think also having a dog is a great way to meet people in itself. So also, it's really important just to remember that 80% of life is just showing up. So if you have somebody to go with you, and instead of kind of saying, I'm not going, and you don't have anybody to push you, I think it's kind of important to have that positive social pressure. You have someone that says, hey, let's go. And I think even if you feel like you aren't really good at social skills, I think you probably know at least one person, that you can talk to about things. And I think once you start feeling more socially comfortable and start building upon successes, you'll meet even more people. And I think it's okay too that, if you have just a few really close friends, that's fine. It all depends on your comfort level. And sometimes people are more comfortable having a bunch of friends that maybe it's more acquaintances. And some people are okay with just having like a really close knit group of 2 or 3 people that are really good friends. So it really depends on your style and your comfort level. Also, you might want to consider seeing a counselor too if you get to the point where you're not socializing and you really want to, and you feel it's really kind of holding back on, and it's kind of impeding on your quality of life. I think it's important to see someone. And also, if you have a problem with interruptions and also saying things that maybe are inappropriate or intrusive, you might want to consider getting an evaluation for medication, because when you have ADHD, your brain is low on a chemical called dopamine. And when your brain is low on dopamine, you don't have that kind of split second to think about things and to stop behavior before you start. So it can give you the extra space to not interrupt. Hold that thought in your head until a break in the conversation. It helps you to stop and review what you're going to say before you say it, but in a healthy way. So those are just some ways to help improve social skills and just overall social health. And again, I'm Dr. Stephanie Sarkis, a psychotherapist and author, and this video is for AttitudeMag.com, and my website is stephaniesarkis.com. Thanks.